So I switched back to a leather cover. This is an A5 Chic Sparrow and Dormouse, and that beautiful wooden charm is for Summer Wind Art on Etsy. I'll link that down below. But yeah, so I just tried to set it up as the same way I had it in my Hobonichi cover. I couldn't deal with the bulk. I didn't like it not closing, so I had to move. And I have absolutely no regrets. I adore leather notebooks and traveler's notebooks and strings and all the wonderful things that come with owning a traveler's notebook. So yeah, I couldn't keep away from them. So I switched into this beauty. You know, I had bought this a while ago from someone on a buy-sell trade, and I never actually used it. I meant to, but then I got a Tea House Americano from Chic Sparrow that I wanted to try out for a bit first. And then I moved into the Hobonichi cover that I used in my other videos. But yeah, so I decided to take this baby out for a test run, and I've only been in it for like 2 days now, but I love how smooth the leather is. Anywho, so I could just continue talking about like what I am doing, but I think I'm just gonna chit chat with y'all while I create on screen. So I know a lot of people do like favorite videos at the end of the month. I don't know if I will do one. I think I'd rather just like tell you all now things that I'm enjoying. So the first thing that I've really liked this past month has been the horror game Little Nightmares. So my best friend's husband played that game a couple years ago when it first came out, and he kept trying to get me to play it, and I'm a huge scaredy cat. Like growing up, I watched my brothers and my cousins play video games, and that was how I got my introduction to video games. I didn't actually play them, I just watched people play. And for me, I didn't mind because I feel like all this effort goes into making video games and creating a storyline and a plot to keep the players engaged. So from an outsider's perspective, just watching people play, it's like watching an animated movie. So yeah, I really enjoy watching people play games, especially horror games, because I cannot handle the stress and the anxiety that comes with horror. The music, the loud sounds, the ambiance, it's just a little too much for me. So I'd rather just watch people play them. But anywho, so I finally decided to try the game Little Nightmares. And it is such a creepy game. Not creepy in a something's gonna pop out of nowhere jump scare kind of creepy. It's just really well designed, and the characters and the villains, creatures are just so disturbing. Yeah, I highly recommend you check it out. It's really cute too. Like, you know, your character, you play as a little girl named Six, and she wears a very bright yellow raincoat, very reminiscent of Coraline, and you're stuck on this ship with these like creatures. I don't necessarily think they're human, but they're creatures that feed off of small children. And it's a terrifying experience, but it's just so well done. And I highly recommend you check it out. They recently came out with part 2, so I binge played the first part and the second part, which is saying a lot because, like I mentioned, I'm a big old scaredy cat. But like that game, I found very easily digestible. You see what I did there? It's a game about eating people and little kids, and it's digestible. Yeah, anyway, sorry, bad joke. It's a great game, and I think you all should check it out if you're into that kind of thing. Another favorite of mine would have to be the show on TLC 90 Day Fiancé. Now, I wouldn't really call it a monthly favorite. It's something that's been a guilty pleasure of mine for years. I usually talk all of my very close friends and my husband's ears off on the drama that happens on that show. It's a very dramatic show. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know, it's probably your cup of tea. If you've never heard of it, you probably wouldn't like it. It's kind of, I wouldn't really say it's like a dating show. It's these people who fall in love with other people from across the world, and they apply for something called the K-1 visa, which essentially lets them come to the US for 90 days, and within those 90 days they have to get married or the visa expires and the other person has to go back to their original country. The show just kind of chronicles their time within those 90 days, and you kind of see which couples decide to go through with the marriage and which ones don't. I don't think I've seen one yet where they haven't got married. Spoiler alert. But I don't quite remember. But yeah, it's very interesting, and relationships looks different to people on the outside. So sometimes you can tell right away which couples are just not meant for each other, and which they're not doing it for the right reasons. And other times it's kind of sweet to see those far and few between couples that seem like they are genuinely in love and genuinely care for one another. I'm gonna hop back in here for a little bit. So what I'm doing here is pulling a piece of paper out of the Flow Paper Lovers. This is a book that comes out, I think they do one every year, and this was last year's edition. I don't know if you can still find it on Amazon, but that's where I purchased mine. But I really like the way the yellow pops behind the pictures there, and I really wanted to find a piece of yellow paper, and none of the ones in the book really stuck out to me, but this one did. It's not necessarily a paper, it's the sticker, it's a backing to some of the stickers in the book. And now, while I'm gluing, like regular glue seemed to work okay with it, but I would not recommend using double-sided tape like I do try later on with that yellow piece, because it didn't occur to me at the time, but because of the fact that the opposite side was used for stickers, it has a very glossy surface, meaning that my double-sided tape just slid right off. So if you are planning to use the backs of the sticker pages in the Flow magazine, I do not recommend double-sided tape. I also want to talk about the images that I have on my page. So the Happy Valentine's Day up the corner, along with the Will You Be My Valentine Girl in the circle on the bottom right, those are all from Pocket Journal Pam. She is on Patreon, and she is another amazing artist. Like, her illustrations are really quirky and cute and adorable. I know she also just recently opened up an Etsy store. In case not really sure if you want to subscribe to her Patreon yet, like, that's a good way to support her as well. But I will link all of her information down below, and I highly suggest that you check her out. Like, I love all of her stuff. The little cactus girl in the left there is a couple of creature images from Courtney Diaz. Her Patreon, she recently just did a video doing kind of like, I don't want to call them art dolls, because it was more like creature creations. And yeah, so she just took a bunch of her previous drawings and cut them up in pieces and created a PDF file for us. And that little guy or little girl is the one that I came up with. And that sticker book is back. I am working so hard on trying to finish up this sticker book this year. So I keep it with me every single time I journal, and I found that having it in close proximity has really made me use it and reach for it. Another thing I've really been loving since moving to Germany has been their coffee. It is absolutely delicious. So I'm fortunate enough to live close to a bakery that has that does make coffee. So about 2, 3 times a week, I walk on over and try a new pastry and take a coffee with me. And it is one of the best parts of my day. I've also really been enjoying the groceries here. So the groceries in Germany are a lot better quality than the US, I will have to say. I feel like the milk tastes better, all the dairy products, cheese is amazing here. The baked goods, the breads, even the meat, everything is just so delicious. As a matter of fact, for Valentine's Day, one of the things that we heard about was that there was a vending machine in a town nearby that sold meat. It was a meat vending machine. Like it was just something that seemed so different that my husband and I just knew we had to check it out. So for Valentine's Day, we drove over to that town, we found that vending machine, and we pulled out 2 heart-shaped steaks to make for Valentine's Day. And we cooked together, and that was how we spent our day. It was just amazing. My husband and I are really big foodies, so anything that involves food, we are 100% content. Another thing that I'm really enjoying is watching Bailey Sarian on YouTube. So I don't know if you all have heard of her yet, but she is typically a makeup YouTuber. So she does a lot of videos where she does her makeup and things like that. But she recently started doing a series on Mondays called Murder, Mystery, and Makeup. So she films herself doing her makeup while telling you a true crime story. And I have been obsessed. Like, it is such a wonderful series. It's like, she's doing her makeup at the same time, but she's telling you the details of this true crime cases. And she's just very, articulate and detailed, and she's just a great personality. But I highly recommend that you check her out if you are a true crime junkie like myself. She tells you background information on who the perpetrator was or is. She gives you her personal thoughts on it, and just her commentary is just really enjoyable. Alright everybody, so I think for the rest of the video I'm just going to let it play out because I'm near the end here. But yeah, I'm just going to let it play, put on some music because I'm sure you are tired of hearing my voice, just like I am a little tired of talking. So yeah, enjoy the music. all enjoyed today's Journal With Me video. Thanks again for watching. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!